Hello, everyone. Saturday, the 19th of June. I hope you are all very well today. The sun has stopped shining for the moment in the UK as England drew with Scotland yesterday in the Euros. Decent match. Frustrating, but I think, it was a fair result in the end. I will say it was great to see the Scottish fans. Can you believe this? The Scottish fans cleaning up after themselves in our capital city of London town today. I'm amazed seeing seeing the Tartan Army doing littering duty. Unbelievable. Trolling action this week in Twitterland. The Hollywood director Mr. James Mangold having a pop at some peeps on Twitter who confronted him about Indiana Jones 5. We kind of, we covered that in volume 111 last Tuesday with Ruin Johnson, where we kind of said he shouldn't have retaliated or rise to the bait. So I think with Indiana Jones 5, I think early days for that one yet. So I think that's going to bubble up over the coming months. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Television this week. Always television. Superman and Lois again delivered the goods. We really do like Superman and Lois at the moment. Great episode this week. Morgan Edge and his followers revealed themselves, and it's getting good, folks. I will say this: well done, CW. You've outdone yourselves with Superman and Lois. Well done. Episode 2 of Loki dropped this week on Disney Plus, and the main villain has revealed, I'm going to say revealed themselves. Lots of timey-wimey stuff going on, but at least it wasn't the full counselling session like we had last week. We will discuss Loki in a moment. This week also, the Picard Season 2 teaser trailer dropped. And, again, we'll talk about that in a moment. Shall we get the guests out? I think we should. Here we go. First off, a true Star Wars fan in every sense of the word. Lightsabers at the ready. All the way from Las Vegas. We have the wonderful, not Brian Young. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Brown. Good evening, chat. How the devil are we all?
I'm not bad. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm just having a little look at the chat here, and it's alive already. I'm wondering, did the pub shut early?
That's a good question. Probably not. We are allowed to go to the pub, aren't we? Yeah. We've not been locked down.
Who knows what the latest rules are now?
Oh, I know.
Are you depressed after the soccer result?
It was a frustrating game, wasn't it? It had a hard 0-0 all over it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was
fair play, Scotland.
It was the most surprising result since I think Jack Grealish passed his driving test, to be honest.
They really do need to, for the football fans, soccer fans, they really do need to reinstate the home friendlies. So are you good? Yes,
I'm very good, thank you.
Shall we get the next guest out? I think we should. Yes,
certainly, of course.
Thank you. Next up, he's the Jester from Leicester, the channel's own the channel's very own painter and decorator, novelist, massive Star Wars fan, and top bloke. Here he is, Swap Shop Unlimited.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's awfully good to be back.
How are you, sir?
Matchsticks in my eyelids, but apart from that, I'm good to go.
You're tired, yeah?
Yeah, it's always painting and decorating, inhaling fumes. It's fatigued me a little bit, shall we say?
I think it's been a long week doing nothing, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, if you call doing nothing, getting your hands permanently covered in gloss paint, and getting high on chemicals.
Decorating, Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I've been listening to some good stuff while I've been decorating, so it's not boring. I'm kind of just like painting away like a frilly French maid. I'm sure Cockney Spock would be interested to find out.
Yeah,
up in the high corners of the ceiling around the room to nice music and UFO podcasts. So it's not been all bad.
Yeah, you impressed me on Tuesday with your Yahtzee UFO knowledge. Amazing.
Yeah, I meant to send you some stuff on that actually. I've got it.
Yeah, respect, mate. I was genuinely impressed. So well done, mate.
That's just my obsessive nature, like retaining all the useless data from episodes of Ancient Aliens from years ago.
Well, they're obviously going to be using it for Indiana Jones 5, so it wasn't that useless.
If that artwork is to be genuinely believed, yes. If that is actually the official artwork and not a hoax, we shall see.
As I said, if it is going to be like that, I'm in. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Shall we get the next guest out?
Go on then.
Here he is, the bad penny of YouTube, the damn ranker himself from the Wayne timeline. Here he is, Cockney hipster Spock.
Now, the thing about your French maids, you see, is what you've got to do. You've got to leave their wages on the top shelf in the library and then give them a really tall step ladder. That's the only sure way to make sure they are actually wearing stockings. Hello, everyone.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine, thanks. First coffee's going in, injected directly into the eyeballs. And,
into the vein? No, not into the vein this time.
Tea, Earl Grey hot. Engage. What?
Oh, God.
Indeed.
Oh, God.
I watched all the Raiders films, so I've done my homework.
Oh, well done, mate. Yeah, well done. That's impressive. Well done, my friend.
Thank you so much. It was hard work.
Shall we get the next guest out? Yes.
Please.
Here he is, the wise elder of the channel, the writer, the producer, the director, and fully paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society. Here he is, the great MegaGeek himself, Mr. Ian David Diaz.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Moving on.
How's everybody doing? Yeah, exactly. Everybody doing all right?
Gold.
Yeah, we're not bad at you, mate. Are you good? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. Hello, Brian. Hello, Matt. Hello, Cockney.
Yep.
And thank you for accepting me again, Ian. Cheers.
You're more than welcome. You know that.
Mm.
Don't believe me then.
No, just saying. Thank you.
Shall we get the final guest out?
Why not?
Well, I could give you a million reasons why not, but the show wouldn't run very well if I did so. Here we go then. So, last, but by no means least, she was so good last week, we've asked her back. She's the Princess of Xanadu and Doomcock royalty. Hail Doomcock. It's the amazing Reni A.
Oh, good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing this evening?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All
You?
All good, all good.
Awesome. Well, it's only 5 o'clock in Texas here, so I know it's late for you guys. You're probably getting ready for bed as I'm just, getting ready to have my evening cup of tea and maybe dinner and all that. So
Very good. What's the weather like today in Texas?
hot AF. So it's about 100 something degrees
Ooh.
and humid. And yeah, so as you can tell, I'm not following ERCOT's rules and cranking up my AC today. So
very good.
only way to keep sane, man, this time of year anyways.
100 plus. Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Savage.
stars shine bright in the middle of the night. deep in the heart of Texas.
No idea what he's talking about.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What's your big butt, Pee-wee?
Oh Lord.
So everybody's fine, yes? Are we up for this?
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
So what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit of Superman and Lois, Loki, indeed, Loki, Picard, and we'll discuss a certain film after that, if that's okay, yeah?
Go on then.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do it.
Yes, sir. All that. Yes, sir.
Do it.
Okay, so if my technology allows me, so Superman and Lois. Brian, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Another stellar episode this week, I'd say. The show just seems to be going from strength to strength. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I'm amazed it's not
It
failed.
was
by
pretty
now.
good. It was pretty good.
It's got something that's been missing from a lot of entertainment of late, and that is just pure, unadulterated escapism.
Mm.
I thought Adam Rayner this week was absolutely superb as Morgan Edge's alter ego, if I'm not spoiling it too much there. I feared the worst after his Saint movie. I thought he was going to be a disaster, but he's really proved himself without a doubt.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good, hasn't he?
The only criticism I have is the kind of slightly clunky dialogue exposition, but that's not really much a complaint, to be honest. Thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Has anybody else in the chat seen this week? Sorry, on the show, have they seen it this week? Ian, have you seen it?
Nope.
Are you still a bit behind?
I'm very much behind, actually. So yeah, I've been busy this week and last week and the week before. So yeah, I have to choose my times wisely what I watch. So
Well, I think you're going to be in for a treat when you binge watch.
yeah, I probably will binge watch.
The Adventures of Ugly Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Still can't
Exactly.
believe. I re-listened to last week's show, the Brown Channel, even better, second time round. Only in Hollywood, only in plastic, lovely face Hollywood can a chiseled, handsome leading man be called Ugly Superman. Look at him.
What's
He's
the word?
Madonna.
No, I think we said
Reni-
ugly.
Fugly.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Not just
That's
ugly, but
fucking
Fugly.
Doc Ruff, you'd kick him out of bed for farting.
You know, it's one of those things where you wake up in bed next to somebody like that and you're like, oh my God, what the hell did I do last night? Just say,
Coyote
Well, the
Superman.
chance will be-
I'm trying to chew my arm off, but it's like kryptonite down there.
I'm straight, and I wouldn't feel bad if I woke up the next morning next to him, to be quite honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be
That's
worse.
the ugly Superman. Bring me the winners. My goodness. It's like a fashion parade.
that's
Poor
because you
guy.
know that he's not good enough for you to accidentally mistake for, androgynous, so you wouldn't have done anything with him. You know what I mean? But
Well,
if
not
he
on the
was
first
prettier.
date, under the shirt, over the bra. Buy me dinner first, for goodness sake. I'm not saying Superman wears a bra, but he might as well. Yeah, boob armor, something.
Well, he's not wearing any underpants, so you're
He's not
in
wearing
there,
his
mate.
jacket. I'm out. MegaGeek. I used to complain. The only thing I don't like about Superman, pants on the outside. But at least we knew he was wearing pants. No pants at all. You can see what he had for breakfast. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There you go.
That guy
Brian,
was
I-
actually cast without having an audition. Believe it or not, he was just offered the
Really?
part. Yeah,
That's
audition, nothing.
why he's so wrong for Superman. He looks nothing like
Thank-
Superman at all, in my opinion. I agree with Reni. So
Thank you, MegaGeek.
yeah, it's
I
all
thought
right.
that when I first saw the photographs, but the more I watch it, I feel a bit more comfortable.
Yeah,
Maybe the same if you watch it.
I don't know about you, Brian. He's playing the dad really well.
Yeah,
He
but not
is- he is
Superman,
indeed.
though, is he? He's not playing Superman very well. And him, Superman and Clark Kent, they have the same personality. So, it doesn't really work, really. No, in fact, no one that played Superman on TV has made Clark Kent different to Superman. The characters are both the same. I mean, Dean Cain, his character was the same. This guy's character is the same. Only Chris Reeves changed the persona of Clark Kent
But-
when it comes to
Yeah,
when
what-
it
Kind of
comes
gold standard,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
a-
but
That's a good call out.
they threw away the mold though with Christopher Reeve, though, didn't they?
That's not the point. The point is that
Not the
Clark
point,
Kent,
Brown.
Clark
Not the
Kent
point.
should be
Sorry,
completely different to Superman, shouldn't he? Because
Yes.
that's the way
Stream
it is.
killer.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the problem I have with
saying.
The problem I have with modern day Superman is that none of the people that's played Superman after Chris Reeves has made the point to make them both different.
Well, I
You
will
know,
say Brandon Routh tried, but he just tried too hard to be like Christopher Reeves, and I think that got him,
you're right, absolutely
kind of
right.
ostracized. But he
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah, he tried, but he was under the bad direction of Bryan Singer.
Yeah, the material let him down, didn't it?
Yeah,
But you know, the funny thing is, Bryan Singer was great at the X-Men. So
He
what
was.
happened?
Well, the reason why Bryan Singer was really great at the X-Men because he had an angle on it. He's because he's gay in real life. Bryan Singer, he saw the X-Men as being ostracized by society, just like when people were coming out to be gay, they were scared to tell people. So that's how he had an angle on X-Men, and that's how he approached it. But with Superman, he put all his gayness into Superman when really doesn't. That kind of reflection doesn't really belong.
All his gayness.
In what? How else would you put it? How else would you put it?
I really like
How else
that
can you
point.
put it though? That's the thing.
Well,
So-
actually, thinking about it, he is. I mean, it's like Seinfeld says he's 30, single, and neat. He must be.
Not
He's
that there's
too
anything
stylish
wrong
to
with
be
that.
straight.
Yeah,
Like,
but
there's nothing wrong with that.
the point I'm trying to make, we spoke about this before, didn't we?
We have,
Ian?
yes.
The point I'm trying to make is that you can see in the reflection of who he is, as reflection in Superman, it was the wrong tone. Like, for instance, Superman's costume was very, how would I describe it? We talked
Sinister,
about it before.
we
Flamboyant.
said, didn't we?
Yeah, flat. Yeah, and it didn't work for Superman. The tone of Superman is the tone that Superman should
Hello,
have.
Cam. Yeah.
So that's why, and also the script was terrible, as Brian pointed out, or was it Matt? I can't remember. But I mean, this is just my opinion, you know. So don't kill me for it, because it's just an opinion. Opinion should be heard, and disputed, but not,
No, it
you know.
shouldn't.
Of course it should. Of course it should. But yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? But you shouldn't really take offense of other people's opinions.
We
if you know
kind
what I
of
mean.
said at the time we felt it was a missed opportunity.
I mean, look, there's no secret that if you look at Batman Forever and Batman, that other stupid Batman film with George Clooney, that, you know, it's not that the director who directed
That's
those
the
films.
title they should have gone with. That other stupid Batman.
Bat
film,
nipples.
by Joel Schumacher.
But listen, it's no secret that the director was gay, and you know he showed bat nipples and bat bum. So I mean, come on, that's what does that say? He's projecting who he is on the film, and that's what every director does, right? So.
True.
And I think that was the wrong tone for the Superman movies. And I still maintain that everyone that's played Superman so far has not changed their persona of Clark Kent. They're Superman and Clark Kent in this version is one and the same. They both have the same characters.
Well, and you make a really good point, Ian, because like when it comes to Superman and Clark Kent, since all they have is like the glasses and the outfit, so to speak, to separate them, if they don't even have separate personalities and you've got Clark Kent like walking around with his chest puffed out, then like everybody's gonna be like, well, duh, that's Superman. Like how they didn't notice, I don't know.
The worst has got to be Henry Cavill, because Henry Cavill made no attempt to make his Clark Kent different to Superman. You know, it's
Only play
crazy.
the alpha.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I will say I'm a little partial to Cavill, but that's just the lady side of me. So,
But that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, that's
but that
great.
has nothing to do with the way he
Eye
played the
candy.
role. Exactly, that's exactly what it is.
But anyway, I digress. Oh, hello. But yeah.
I will just say, genuinely, we are Brian and I are surprised at the quality of the show.
Yes, that's good.
Problems aside,
Mm.
considering that it's the CW network,
Cringy
somebody's
wank.
somebody's doing something right with the show. Maybe
Yes,
it
the
was,
showrunner.
maybe it was just too important to be a dead on arrival show.
You heard what happened in the beginning, right, Ian? When they were going to make this show?
I know
Right.
HBO have piled lots of money into this.
No, in the beginning, right, there was a writer in the writer's room, that one of the writers who write for this, and she,
One
I think-
got sacked.
yeah,
Yes,
complained that
for being too woke.
complained that that Clark, was it the Kents, his parents should be black or something like that, was it? I can't remember. And the showrunner went, no, because that's not the way the comics are. And she complained so much that he fired her. So there you go. So this is, I mean, he was determined to take all that stuff out of this show and not have it connected to Supergirl, which is what he did. So that's why it's not woke.
I think the
Well,
name of the
kudos
guy
to him.
is it Todd Helbing or something like that. I think that's the name of the guy who's.
You
the
might
show
get
with,
pressured
so-
by the studios to actually revert it, though. You never know.
What, for season 2?
Yeah, for season 2. Yeah.
Like maybe
Well,
season
I-
1 was a dream, and season 2 he wakes up and he does have
Yeah.
like
It was
In
all
a-
a dream.
in a shower.
Classic.
Well,
Dallas.
I will say,
Nice link
see,
into Aquaman, though, isn't it? Bob Ewing, Aquaman. There's a kind of through line there.
Man from Atlantis. I will
Man.
say
There you go.
to
Thank you.
if
That's what
if
I
anybody from the CW are watching,
meant. We know you are.
it's really good. It's spot on. Carry on. Don't
Yeah.
alter it, please. Just leave it as it is, please, please,
Leave
please.
it.
So yes, Brian and I are really enjoying it. As we said last week, everybody in the chat should check out Superman and Lois. It's muy bien, as it were. So shall we do the? We'll do the next picture then.
Who be that then? Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's Cucumber Man again. It's the Cucumber.
Wait, is
Has
he a
anybody
woman
seen
now?
it this week?
I have.
In-
I
Yeah.
have. Have you seen it, Brian?
Yes, have indeed.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
Knock yourself out.
I'm trying to be positive tonight, but excuse me. I never thought I'd be bored watching a show starring Tom Hiddleston's Loki, but here we are.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
neutering
Agreed.
and the kind of character deconstruction continues.
Mm.
For me, I think Loki's at his best when he's being clever and Machiavellian. He's supposed to be the god of mischief, after all, but
I love that word,
in this,
Machiavellian.
they've got him running about as if he's the beta version of Biff Tannen, and I think it's pretty ugly to watch.
Nice.
Yeah.
The scene
Yeah,
where
it's
he,
terrible.
the scene where he's playing with the salad was kind of reminiscent of how the Big Bang Theory initially had Sheldon as the genius who considered everyone else to be stupid, until they kind of compromised him by making him his character the butt of the joke, and that seems to be the way they're going with Loki.
Well, not only Loki, but the rest of them as well.
Well, aye, true enough. But I think the biggest problem that Loki has is that they're trying to turn an antagonist into a protagonist. And I don't think that really works unless it's a tragedy or something like Joker.
Mm.
And I think the only way that would have worked is if they had Hiddleston playing the kind of double part, him playing both the protagonist and the antagonist. And they didn't. They chose
Yeah.
not to do that. Or so far,
Yeah,
they've chosen not to do that.
Yeah, that would have been good, yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll just say in the chat, PJ may be wokey.
How you doing,
It
PJ?
is.
Boom, have that. MC says, hello, MC. Sorry, Ian. Loki is turning into. I thought
Marvel's
this as
Doctor
well.
Who.
Yeah, I thought that.
Well, the problem with this Loki is the fact that there are no strong men in in the show at all. All the men are weak or stupid. And Loki, there's a bit at the ending, spoilers by the way, there's a bit at the climax at the ending where they arrive on Earth from their timeline.
2050.
And Loki can now use his powers. But yet he doesn't use his powers when he's fighting with the other Loki in different forms. He only grabs a hoover and throws at him or some nonsense like that, which, as I said, this whole show is about showing all males as weak, even though he's the star of the show. They've literally just ignored his powers right at the very ending, which was really annoying. And he was railed upon the first half of the episode. He was made to look stupid. And this is not the Loki that invaded New York in the Avengers movie. This is not the Loki that came through the porthole and killed 6 soldiers. This is not
Or
the Loki that
who killed Phil Coulson.
exactly. This is not the Loki
You
that
got Phil Collins. What?
not Phil
Phil
Collins.
Coulson.
Yeah.
Agent Coulson.
Yeah, this is not the Loki
Agent
that
Phil
actually
Collins.
manipulated
I can
every.
feel it coming in Asgard tonight. Sorry, Karen.
That's all right. I'll try. This is not the Loki that manipulated everyone so they can he can out out the Hulk so the Hulk can try and destroy the Avengers. He's very cunning in the first Avengers. This is some kind of sap that now Marvel wants to move into. So this is the reason why the show doesn't work, because as I said on another stream, a road goes both ways. They could have made him the mischievous evil Loki in this show and people trying to stop him. But no, they chose to choose this version of Loki, a soft idiot that is useless, that has hardly any powers. And that's what they've chosen. And this is why it doesn't work, in my opinion, of course. I digress.
I think we'll end the stream on that.
We'll call it 0-0.
We will get out while the going's good. What do you reckon, guys?
Nah, come
my
on,
goodness.
there's more. There's more. I like the idea of parallel universes, but of course I can't comment because I've not.
Only joking.
we know
Swap
Kim.
Shop. Have you seen it?
No, I'm not watching it.
Right, moving on.
Exactly the reasons Ian says.
Fine.
Exactly the reasons Ian says.
High on paint fumes.
Yeah, I agree with Swap Shop.
It's
Why? What do you say?
just everything I've heard basically from this show, from just that first trailer. I didn't even know the show had started. That's how much I was bothered by it.
Episode 2 now.
God like him could afford a limo or something. Doing a trailer.
Just after the other series that they've released, I knew this was going to be a disappointment. I knew it. So I just thought, why even set myself up for the disappointment? You know, I know it's going to be fueled with feminism and he's going to be cucked and
intersectional. Don't forget.
Pushed around, intersectional, yeah, and pushed around by women, etc., and just made to be weak. And he's going to be completely different to how we revered him in the actual movies. And that's not why I watched Loki. You know, I watched Loki to see him as he was in the Avengers films, not as some bloody wimpy bloke that's working for other people and sort of like an anti-hero. It's like, no. He's supposed to be a villain. He's supposed to be almost unbeatable because of his cunning. And you've just completely defanged him. And where's the appeal in that? So I'm not, and nothing I've heard from any of these episodes has changed my opinion whatsoever. Nothing's made me think, right, this sounds great now. I'm going to take back everything I said and I'm going to go in and watch it. It's like, no, just confirming it every single time. All I need to do is listen to what Ian says. I'm like just sitting and nodding, going, yeah, knew it.
It
Well
reminds
said.
me. It reminds
I
me
say
of
with no pleasure at all.
It's kind of been Doctor Who'd, hasn't it?
Not really. It
No?
deals with it deals with timelines and a kind of characters that are like the Time Lords, but everything else about it is very different, in my opinion. A lot of people say it's like Doctor Who, but I don't think so. Not at all. But anyway,
It would have been good if, as we said, Hiddleston was up against himself.
yeah, that would have been good, wouldn't it? But they have to have a woman that was evil, and then they have to have a woman that was in charge, and they have, you know what I mean? It's just it goes on and on.
It's
Point. Yeah. Of course they gender swapped him, didn't they, in the last episode?
gender fluid.
Yeah. So he's got like a female and male version now.
Clean that up.
Do you know what? Right,
It needs cleaning up. Yes.
Loki is not gender fluid, right? Basically, Loki can change into anything.
After
So if
7
he chooses to
fights,
change into a woman, that means he changes into a woman. But the original form of Loki's male. So I don't know where
Yes.
this crap comes from about him being gender fluid. They only put that in because of what's happening today, trying to please these crazy cult people, and that's why they're doing it. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I agree with you, Ian. There's a difference between him being able to change into whatever because he has like his skills versus him actually having the biological makeup of a woman.
That's right.
So I definitely agree with that. I used to read the comics, and this is not our Loki.
No, not at all.
Will Loki be able to? Will the male Loki be able to attack the female Loki?
No.
No, because that's sexist.
When he was fighting her, she
Checkmate.
changed into different forms, and all the forms she changed into was a male. And then when she revealed herself, she was a female that looked like a bit like Jodie Whittaker for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then, you know what I mean. And then she walks through the porthole, and he follows her through the porthole, and that's how it ended. So when he was fighting,
Oh, they're going
he was
onto a
fighting.
ship.
Yeah,
come to
exactly.
a ship. Yes. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's John Dean.
he's not allowed to punch a woman. No one's allowed to punch a woman in these shows. No one's allowed to be up on. Well, it's just women in charge basically.
On the film we're going to be discussing in a moment. I managed to watch 20 minutes of it before I came on, and the hero punches a woman in the face early on, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
I like that scene. I think it's very funny.
It is.
It is funny. It's funny. It's meant to be funny as well.
So in a sentence, what we're going to say about Loki, Feige's fucked it up.
I don't know. I don't know if
is he complicit, or has he just been told what to do?
You know what, guys? I was on Keith's stream talking about this, okay? And there are two people on there that obviously don't agree with us, the way we think of what's happening in woke shows. And one of them, really nice guy named Pete. You can understand why, some people just don't see it, because they don't have enough evidence in front of them to come to conclusion that that we have come to, because all they see is the show, and all they see is they think it's progress, because according to them, women have been railed upon since the dawn of Hollywood, which is not true, but this is what they believe. And no matter what you say, they will ignore it. They think that you're backwards, and this is a guy that's not part of the cult, if you know what I mean. So this is what you're up against, really, is normies like him. No disrespect to him, because I really like Pete, and the cult, and the cult's in charge, and they have the power. So expect more of this in the future.
Our bullshitometers have been tuned to pick up all this now, haven't they? We can pick up on this.
But it's not. There's proof, though. If you look closely, there's proof this is happening, from Star Wars to Star Trek to Doctor Who to Henry VIII's wife being black, Anne Boleyn, right across the board.
Jesus.
Yet, normies will refuse to see that. They'll say, like, for instance, my sister saw what's that stupid Disney film? The one with 101 Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatians woman. What's her name?
Oh, Cruella de Vil.
Cruella. She thought it was entertaining, but she never saw the underlying theme of what they were trying to. She said, "Oh, it's I liked it because it empowered women." But this woman, she killed hundreds of dogs to make fur coats. It makes no sense. Why are you? Why do you think this woman is great?
Well, because she was supposedly raised evil, so it wasn't really her fault. I didn't watch it, but I couldn't get myself to watch it because I knew where Disney was going with it.
Yeah.
Anything under the Disney umbrella, you can be 99.99% sure if it's released present day, there's going to be some social justice. Yeah. Some lessons to be learned,
Yeah.
God, she's good.
Villain's good. Cats living with dogs. It's all upside down.
It is. So we love Tom Hiddleston, but it's not good, is it?
No, and Tom Hiddleston loves this show. He's obviously promoting it and thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread. And it's like, well, mate, you're ignoring the problem, or you're just accepting the money.
Are you sure it's not the? Yeah, I was going to say, are you sure it's not the money that he loves, and he's just promoting the show because he can't get paid otherwise?
Who knows?
Hiddleston's actually a executive producer on it, so
no wonder.
Yeah.
That's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of the best thing since sliced bread, here we go.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I just vomited in my mouth.
Who would like to start?
He actually is a replicant. There's no question, front and center.
Absolutely.
Picard. There's no one thing about Picard. There's no Picard in it. It's a bloody robot. Not even a convincing one. Hello, I am Jean-Luc Picard.
Yes,
I would like to continue my apology tour.
I was like, is it just me, or did he sound robotic in the trailer? It
sounded
was really
old.
crazy. Yeah, he sounded old and robotic.
Yeah, he's supposed to be robotic, though, is he not?
Oh, it just makes
a
me
robot.
Sick.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was about to die.
He is about to die. He's dead. He's
Android on his deathbed.
He's pining for the Klingon fjords. This captain is no longer breathing. He's brown bread, mate. He's
solid hologram rumor. at this point.
Exactly. He's a hard light rimmer. Quite right. He's a replicant. He's a toaster, a skin job, a fake, a robot.
A Red Sea pedestrian. I'm proud of it.
Indeed. Quite right. Baldy
then
Captain over there. You can't say that. What? He is bald.
They tried to rectify it by bringing Q in. Big freaking deal. And then 7 of 9. She's not even who she used to be. It's all bad. It's all bad.
Because 7 and 9 had a really good relationship with Picard in the past, didn't she?
Yeah.
Having never met
In
him
the past.
Exactly. Where's
I will
Janeway?
say-
I'm in the wrong series.
I will say, as a toxic white male, Jerry Ryan has still got it.
Dear, oh dear.
As soon as you heard she became a lesbian, you signed in and subscribed, didn't you?
Challenge, mate.
Terrible.
A challenge.
Absolutely terrible show.
Do you, I'll just put this to the panel. Do you think the poster here, which to me looks like Los Angeles
Yesterday.
the day before yesterday,
Oh, fair enough.
do you think they're going to be doing, and we know they're going to be doing some timey-wimey shite, but do you think there's going to be, I was just thinking about this, do you think there's going to be like time travel back to current day Los Angeles just to save,
Looks like it.
Helps
just
Yeah,
to
for the
save
it
budget.
appears
budget?
so.
Yeah, budget.
Well, you know, Kurtzman, right? He steals from the past and doesn't understand past Star Trek. So he's probably
Does.
thinking, oh,
Star
yeah,
Trek 4.
they went backwards to save the whales, didn't they? So maybe, and it was San Francisco. So maybe we can copy that. Maybe he's thinking that. Who knows?
Well, and
You
he's
know?
all into soft reboots. So it'd be like, oh, another way to reboot a reboot upon a reboot, you know?
Yeah. Too many boots.
Exactly.
Too many boots, not enough maids.
Yeah.
That's right.
And shout out to PJ Maybe, who I know despises the term timey-wimey, and I've been thinking about that since. I think if you do a good time travel story, you can call it time travel. But if it's thrown in at the last minute to explain a bad plot point, then you can call it timey-wimey. That's how I look at it anyway. If it's nonsense.
Mm.
I will say, I'm just going to explain that obviously this is season 1. And we all know what this is, don't we?
Sheer fudging hubris.
Sheer effing hubris. Yeah.
Is that Aunt May by any chance?
I miss your Uncle Owen.
Does look like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Uncle Ben, whatever.
Uncle
Oh my
Ben's
God.
opposite her. Yeah. Peter,
I was
share effing hubris.
You could have stopped that burglar, Spidey, but you didn't. Now look.
Yeah. And then she says, share effing hubris. To Peter, poor old Peter.
I watched this scene again on YouTube today, and as I said, it's season 1. And for me, this was a kind of a pop culture moment in Star Trek. For me,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
for me, in my opinion, it was.
Opinion, overruled.
I don't
because
think
this-
it was.
Yeah, but
Let
he
me
does,
explain.
And it's his channel. Come on,
Yeah, it's
Diaz,
up
give
to
the
him,
man
yeah.
a chance.
Oh, it's
Can
up
we
to
have a
him.
bit of silence for the horse because it's becoming a grand mess?
This
A grand mess. A grand
This-
mess. Excellent.
This was the moment when a television series or a franchise which I had dearly loved since I can remember, since I was probably on my potty dropping payloads into the water when I was young.
An enduring
This-
visual image. Thanks for that.
Yeah. this was a TV series stroke film franchise, call it whatever. My personal favorite TV program of Star Trek. And for me, this was the moment where whatever hope we had of modern Star Trek being good on any level was totally, as a fan, this was when I was arse raped by Kurtzman and his crew.
I know what you mean.
For me, this was a pop culture moment for all the wrong reasons. This was when Star Trek just died for me.
Was this your lightsaber thrown over the shoulder moment?
This was the com badge going out into the holodeck and never to be seen again.
Not a pop culture moment, though.
Very well said.
I think a pop culture
Speech.
moment.
Oh,
Is-
an immediate disagreement.
On 40
Is-
It
minutes.
is. Oh no, it isn't.
Pop
Well, it is
culture
to me.
moment is something that's really revered by the fans because they think the show is good. This is not. This is just kind of a
This,
Pop-
well,
you know,
I will,
putting a
I will
nail
say
in there.
the anti-pop culture moment then.
Yeah, well,
A
that's
negative
better, I
Of
pop
the-
guess.
culture moment.
Yeah, of the mirror universe.
But isn't
After-
that moment revered by the SJW fans? So it kind of is still a pop culture moment?
Ah,
I don't know
Seems
whether
right,
it is though.
Yeah, I
And
know.
maybe
Isn't
it
it?
is. Who knows?
Don't you?
I don't know.
isn't it?
This was
Maybe.
this
She's
was
a
your Harry
strong
Kane
woman.
substituted moment.
Who? Harry who?
Your
Indeed.
Harry Kane
Moving on.
substituted moment.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Well, like when Funzy literally jumped the shark, that was a pop culture moment, but not in a good way because that's the trope namer, isn't it? When you jump the
Oh,
shark.
you might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
Can happen
Cruel
occasionally.
Birab. Hello, Cruel. He says assassination of pop culture.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, I like
Cultural
that.
vandalism.
Yes.
Cam says, well
Vandalism.
said. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that. I just, you know, everybody that's a Star Trek fan, a true Star Trek fan, knows that Kurtzman is the person that's destroying Star Trek. They didn't even look at the history of Star Trek to make this new Star
It's
Trek.
destroyed.
As we joked, we said that, you know, 7 and 9 doesn't even know Picard, yet she knows Picard in the first season. It's ridiculous, absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
yeah, to Klutzman, it's all Star Trek, isn't it? He's probably
Mm.
expecting Spock to come on any moment in the original Kirk. It's all
Yeah.
in the same
Speaking
universe.
of writers that don't know anything about the source material, did you see that one of the writers for Loki? This is her first gig on IMDb as a writer.
it's a woman,
Not
right?
surprised.
How did you guess?
Is it a woman?
It is.
It is?
What a surprise.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the answer, isn't it? That's your answer. So
Not that we're sexist on this channel.
we're not, but look, I have to keep
Yeah.
making this point. What
Good
we
recovery.
want is a good balance between white people, diverse people, and women. That's what we want. If it's heavy on one side, it's
Hallelujah.
not right.
Praise be.
That's it. You know
We
what
are
else can
currently
we
in the
say?
overcorrection period. Unfortunately, that it seems to be all of our people, the characters that we love the most.
We're
that are
out of
getting it in the
phase.
neck.
We are out
Yes.
of phase, aren't we?
You guys could not have said that well enough. That was pretty awesome. And no, I don't take offense to women writers being ripped on because honestly, it's the blue-haired, long, armpit-haired women that are doing it anyways, and that does not represent my gender very well, in my opinion.
God.
That's why she comes on the
Well
channel,
said.
ladies and folks,
said.
ladies and peeps.
Poking ovary carrier.
Well said.
And I just want to say hello to the Felicianos and Matt G and send you guys lots of love. I see you in there. I just can't really chat on my device. So
No. She said it. She said it. So be satisfied, guys.
So
Can't be unsaid.
we've got a couple of little snippets from the teaser. So this is the literally the first scene where he looks like he's having a heart attack over the table.
oh my
It
god,
looks like he's
yes.
trying to do a poo.
I thought he was having a stroke. I'm like,
Is
He's
I
on
just watched The
pod
Last
break. He's
Jedi.
putting out another script. Oh, come on,
he
not the
couldn't
Last Jedi.
make the Last Jedi compute.
Yeah.
Last Jedi does not compute.
his suppository has gone the wrong way.
Oh my goodness.
Free
Re-engage.
shells, Picard. It's
Yeah,
free
yeah.
shells.
He'd just seen the viewing figures for the show. That's what he's saying.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Stellar Heather is there too. So love you, Stellar.
Hail,
Sorry,
Stella
had to say
Heather.
that.
Hell.
His voice sounds.
Horrible.
He should have made
Yes.
this. He should have made this 10, 15 years ago, shouldn't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's just too old.
With Orchie.
Yeah.
Not
it
just
was
that, but
awful.
like you guys remember
Yeah,
RoboCop,
with
right?
Orchie.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he kind of has that RoboCop vibe. Instead of like sounding like Data, he sounds more like RoboCop plus old man. That's what he sounds like to me.
Mm.
So
And not the good
Yeah.
RoboCop either.
exactly.
He's like, you know, okay, number one, let me sit down. That's what he's like now, isn't he? He's awful.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is he-
Engage. Terrible.
Just take a nap for a minute.
Yeah.
And add a
Star
little
Trek
bit of
10.
auto-tune in there, you know.
The quest for Coco.
Yeah, yeah,
And slippers.
Bring me
Yeah.
my slippers, #1, and a pipe.
And what about his maid? What the feck is going on? What about
Frenchman.
her? That made me laugh.
The Irish.
Romulan
Yeah, I
maid.
didn't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't get what
She
was
didn't even
going
have
on
a
with
French maid uniform. What kind of television is
She
this?
was Irish.
You didn't have a Romulan made uniform.
You can have
Top of
Irish
the morning
French
to
maids.
you. I'm
You
from
can have Canadian French maids, but they've got to wear the uniform. Come on, that's the rules. That is
Yeah.
standards.
It's absolutely awful, this show. I don't understand how they put money into this to make a second one, because the first one was, the ratings was abysmal. So I
Yeah.
don't know why.
I don't understand that
Sheer
either.
fucking hubris. That's why.
Indeed. It's come back to haunt us. Sheer fucking hubris.
Did anyone actually watch the first season? I completely skipped it.
I
'cause don't
did.
know how
I
bad
did.
Person Trek is. But what
Never
about
seen
that episode? Which I know about this, and I've seen the photos of it, right? And I heard Doomcock and Gary going on about it. But that episode when he's like doing a fake French man in.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I know. I know.
Oh, it was
I can't even believe that
cringe.
exists. Yeah.
It was
What
so
the-
cringe.
Like something out of a low. Hello, I was pissing by your shop today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. This show should never have been made. Every woman in Picard told him off. Every one of them.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
He's
Yeah.
complicit in all this as well. So
Well, maybe he
Picard
just
apology
can't see
tour.
it. Maybe he can't see it.
No.
You know, actors are really guilty of not knowing what's good for them. You know, script wise and stuff. So
I
You know.
used to be a massive fan of this bloke, but not anymore.
mm,
You know,
He was
I
one
will
of
have
my favorite
to.
actors at one time. Yeah, back in the 90s, before Generations, he
Yeah.
was probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite actor. I just loved him so much from the TV show.
I've got signed DVD.
Here,
from this
here.
guy, yeah,
he was
my,
in that film, Vampires versus what is it? When the vampires came down to Earth.
Life
and-
Force.
Lesbian
Yeah,
vampire.
Oh yeah, that
He was
such
great
a good
in that.
film.
Oh, no,
Such
that's
a
not
good
lesbian.
film.
Toxic
Lesbian
white
vampire.
males.
Only fucking fuck.
I do have to tell you guys, now that Star Trek has gone this way, I actually prefer him as Professor X to Picard because
Yeah.
they shit on Picard so bad. You know,
True.
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Picard sucks.
So I will say there was a highlight.
Like a lesbian vampire.
Right,
There was a highlight on the teaser, but I get the feeling not even the omnipotent, godlike Q can save this shite. What do you think?
Did you hear what Drinker said about this? He said you would
Go
think
away
that,
now.
you would think that Q, who's the pull, meant to be the pull for this season, would be at the end of the trailer as a surprise. But who did it
Yes.
have at the end of the trailer? 7 and 9 looking at her face.
Oh.
So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Women cannot be upstaged by a man. Ever.
Not even the omnipotent Q.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
They're
right.
going to have a female Q and call it FQ or something.
yeah. Yeah.
LGBTQ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
FQ2.
Give them any ideas.
QV.
QV, yeah.
There'll be other
Yeah.
continuums. Yeah, there'll be LGBT and a few others as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
not just a few continuum.
The alphabet continuum.
Yeah,
So why is Q old?
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Ah.
They should have de-aged him.
I bet he'll
Would
turn
you?
up. I bet he'll turn up as regular Q, as like he'll be cut out from a next gen episode, and he'll stand there for a moment and not say anything, and then he'll like flash, and then go, well, you seem to have aged, John Luke. I think I'll adopt the same
Yeah,
visage.
you know
On
that's coming.
Capitan.
You know that's coming. Definitely know it's coming. But yeah, I don't understand this trailer at all. It's absolute
Yeah.
bollocks.
As I said, this should have been made 10, 15 years ago. With as you said, Robert Orkey.
Yeah, Orky was the brains behind the
Yeah.
Fringe with those two. And it's really funny because when I saw a picture of Klutzman before all this crap happened, I used to think, oh yeah, he's doing good stuff. The Fringe, I really like the Fringe. Now I see his face, I just want to punch it. You know,
Yeah,
It's just
he has
really
a
weird.
He has
Punch
such
it,
a
Chewie.
punchable face.
You wouldn't
like
punch
Ryan
a man with
Johnson.
glasses on.
Beady little
No, he
eyes.
take his glasses off first.
No, I punch him twice as hard. I'm just
Embed him into his face. Yeah.
that's right. Right in the eyeballs.
So,
savers, mate. Yeah.
so peeps, on 50 minutes, not even Q can save this sack of shit. Yes.
Absolutely.
But
I
you
really
know,
wish- I
the
really
people
wish
that
Gary
complain
Oates
about
would go
the
back
show.
in time and
Sorry.
assassinate Kurtzman.
Yeah. But the people that complain about the show, you know they're going to watch it, right? And then they're going to complain even more. And then they're going to make money out of complaining.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh, yeah,
you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
Such is the nature of the beast. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, I hear Burnett's got a 15 series special coming up just on episode 1 of the card.
Yeah. Oh, there we
Hell
go.
is
Brian's there.
Okay, so here we go. This is a new feature to the show.
Why is Mr. Young facing the wrong way?
Exactly.
Looks as
Exactly.
if having a stroke or something.
It's the mirror universe, and for typographical reasons, it had to be that way.
Is there a reason why
Sorry, Brian.
there's a little bee? Is it?
So, Brian.
Typographical reasons, that's all you need to know.
So
I
the
thought you were
new
going to lead us
feature
to
on
the end of the
show
stream until I've had a
is-
few.
No. So the feature is not Brian Young recommends. So this week, Brian, what do you recommend to the good folks at home?
Ian will probably say this is crap actually when I tell him what it is. But if lockdown has been particularly cruel to you, changing
Yes.
you from a godlike Adonis to something more closely resembling a body
Yes.
positivity activist, then I think I have just the feature for you.
It
At
has
this point, you're probably expecting me to recommend something like Rocky or Pumping Iron or even a Jane Fonda workout on video
God, what is
Betamax,
going-
but you'd be wrong.
Oh Lord.
So, because I come from the least
is
healthy
good.
country on the entire planet, I'll be promoting something that with a bit more of a passive method of weight loss.
this is. I will just say the feature is in association with Domino's Pizza. By the way,
As round as Roundhead.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
After watching this week's recommended viewing, you'll never want to visit a McDonald's restaurant ever again. I'm, of course, talking about 2017's The Founder, starring Michael Keaton.
I seen it. It's great.
The magnificent Michael.
Oh.
Does it get
I
the
loved
Ian's
it. I loved
seal of
it.
approval?
Yeah, I loved it. I like what's his name? God, I forgot his name now. Michael Keaton. Michael
Right there.
Keaton's
Michael Keaton.
performance was absolutely brilliant in this film.
It's
Yeah.
one of his best.
hail
Yeah.
Tyro.
Ray Kroc.
This, it follows the story of struggling salesman Raymond Kroc, who seeks to franchise the original McDonald's restaurant set up by the McDonald Brothers of California. Common decency, tact, diplomacy, honor is thrown out the window as he becomes more and more ambitious and selfish. It's a stellar watch, and but be warned, the McFlurries will never taste the same again after watching
Yeah.
this.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh my
And if you're a
God.
cheapskate like myself, it's currently available on Amazon Prime.
It is. I recommend it. It's very, very good. And
Oh,
as I
that's it.
said,
If you both
I-
recommend it, I'm
I will
definitely
just say before we go on, this channel is no way associated with Amazon Prime. Moving on.
Yeah, bollocks
Are you sure about
whoever's,
that?
Jeff
You'd
Bozo,
like it
1
to be,
week.
wouldn't you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Um,
Mr. Bezos, if you want to throw some money for this channel, it'd be appreciated.
Throw in the odd space trip or something, freebie.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Yeah.
nothing
Just
too
the
special.
pocket change from his jacket. You know, about 30 million. Fine, absolutely fine.
Can I just say hi to Tyrone Beard? And
No.
I love you too.
no, you can't.
Oh,
can't.
rude, rude.
It's may I and no.
Yeah.
Bunch of
Yeah.
haters.
Good recommend. Good recommend, mate.
Cheers.
That's what I say.
Has
This
anybody
is a good
else
movie.
seen it on the panel? I've not seen it, so
I haven't,
Swap
but I
shop?
really want to now. After he
Yes.
said about the flurries, because that makes me think about Golden Wonder in the UK and pot noodles and what happened.
Absolutely.
I would watch it
What
for
did
Keaton
happen?
anyway. But
I'll let Matt explain that one.
I haven't seen this one, but I did see that Super Size Me movie where that guy
Yeah.
ate McDonald's for like a month.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Morgan
so bad.
Spurlock.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was really sickening.
Yeah. It's funny because Morgan Spurlock, he looks like a porn actor, doesn't he, with that moustache of his? Doesn't
I
he?
don't know. How many porn actors have you seen close up?
Ooh, ooh. That's for me to know and you to find out.
Hey.
In the chat, MC, I've not heard of it. MC, you need to do
I'm
your homework,
surprised.
mate.
I'm
Well,
surprised. He's usually very knowledgeable about these.
It wasn't. It wasn't. I think it won loads of awards, and it had a limited release in England. I'm assuming that it had a limited release around the world because it's not the kind of film that it's not a blockbuster or anything like that. It's a very small movie, but a very, very good one, and I recommend it. So
yeah, we'll watch that.
Yeah.
Good work,
It's kind
Brian.
of like McDonald's itself. I watched it because there was, I wanted to have something go into me, but I wasn't that fussy. And then 2 hours later, I felt like I hadn't had anything and wanted to watch it again.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And can somebody else name me a film that was associated with McDonald's? It's a famous movie that McDonald's financed it. Anyone?
Is it Coming to America?
No.
Oh, dang.
No.
That's McDowell's.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
It's in the
it's like
title of the film.
McDonald's parody.
It's
Oh,
in the
McDonald
title
had a
of the
farm?
film. No. Mac and Me.
Oh,
No way,
Mac
really?
and Me. Yes.
No way. The alien?
Yes. Mac and Me. Don't you get it? Mac, Big Mac.
But that was such a
I never
horrible
made
movie.
that link. Whoa.
And also, they had this scene in a musical number, scene in a McDonald's halfway through the film.
No way. Oh my god.
Yes way. Yes way.
Mind's blown.
It's a terrible movie.
I'm meta.
Way.
Yeah.
The
So there you
MegaGeek
go.
goes, yes way.
I saw the making of Mac and Me. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
That alien
That's
was so
that movie.
creepy looking, though.
Yeah, it looked weird. didn't
Well,
it?
you
Yeah, it
think
did.
Superman's
Well, I never
ugly.
saw
I
it.
mean, come on, Rennie, you're hard to please.
He's,
I'm sorry,
He's
I have high
fugly.
standards.
he's
But what
fucking
was-
Mac.
In Adonis. Can we,
You know, the
can
little
we have
boy,
some
he
pictures
gets-
of Tyrone for us.
He gets shot at the ending
He
by
must
the
be a god.
police.
Oh, that's
And-
right.
Lord.
Yeah, they cut it out. They cut it out of the movie, so you just see him on the floor. But in the version, the original version, he literally gets shot by the police in the back, and he dies.
defund the police.
And Mac brings him back to life.
It was a
obviously,
sting
like-
operation.
A quarter pounder brings him back to life.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, my
my
god.
God.
Or the special sauce.
yeah.
Especially
There
the
you go.
special sauce.
Morty.
Mac and Me. Jesus Christ, who thought of that?
Don't you
Really?
blaspheme here. 4 fried chickens and a Coke. And some dry
In-
white toast.
In the chat, hail Cam, McDonald's sued Eddie Murphy over McDowell and the Archies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I thought that was a joke, but I guess not.
I don't know if that's true, but I think McDonald's was happy with it. I'm not sure.
They were a
I'm not
happy
really sure.
meal. It's kind of
Yeah, because I
ironic.
thought they profited from Coming to America because everybody went to McDonald's after that. It's
Yep.
like, ooh, McDonald's. Yeah.
And it's kind of ironic because if you watch that film that you just mentioned, the Ray Kroc story, he stole the whole. Basically, McDonald's had the last remaining McDonald's franchise, so they had their own brand stolen from right under them, basically. So
Yeah, he did.
ironic.
I deliberately avoided spoilers in that review.
Top
Just
trivia,
Shafted
top
it,
trivia.
Cockney.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
Now Matt doesn't want to watch it now.
Freaking Cockney.
Oh, brilliant
Yeah.
ending. I'll tell you what. In the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, they open it up. Sorry.
What? How dare
I
you?
know.
How
indeed.
very dare you?
How very dare you?
Yeah.
Do you like that? I'm trying to give you a segue. Speaking of Indiana Jones movie,
Oh,
Yes, this graphic. This is for the MegaGeek. Do you know anything about this picture?
Yes, it's from Temple of Doom, and the club Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan Kenobi because it's the same creator of Star Wars that created Indiana Jones.
have you
so there
noticed
you
there's a mistake on the front of the name of the club? They dropped off the K at the end.
Oh, Lord.
And the hyphen.
I thought that was his name. Club Obi-Wank Kenobi. Anyway, that's just me.
Obi Wank your knobby. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I never even saw it. Oh, even better. It's a strip club.
Oh, Lord.
It's a great movie, though, in my opinion. Temple of Doom. I love Temple of Doom.
So do I.
Hate it.
Agree to disagree.
Prefer Crystal
So-
Skull on 1 hour.
On 1 hour.
Temple
I
of
think
Doom.
worth definitely.
Should we
I'm
go?
happy that we're talking about it because as mentioned, I rewatched all 4 of them, and maybe it's just because I'm a hipster and I like to have a contrary opinion. No, you
You
don't.
are a hipster.
So yeah, indeed, and so that informs my. I just like the things that are unpopular. So I think Crystal Skull, brilliant. Temple of Doom, rubbish. No, made me realise, having watched all 4, 2 points, just 2 points. So I'll get to them quickly. First one, viewing order, very important. Temple of Doom is definitely episode 1. It works chronologically, but also it's the
I wrote
worst one. You have
notes.
to get it out the way like your Brussels sprouts. Temple of Doom first, then enjoy Raiders, and then watch as the seeping disappointment creeps back in as you watch the other 2, realizing all 4 pretty much use the same storyline. You know, I mean, I really thought it was original in Raid because if you just think, as a writer, Swapswap would know this. As a writer, even there's so many millions of stories out there, but in a way, all adventures they end in the same thing. The goodie and the baddie are having a fight. Like Blade Runner's brilliant because the baddie wins and then he saves the goodie. And Raiders is I think amazing because again the goodie loses in very basic terms, and the baddies get the arc and they open it up. And I thought it was really, really original. But then they did pretty much the same thing in the other 3 films. So
No, they didn't. In Last Crusade, the
Yeah.
ending was he had to go and find the cup,
Holy
didn't he,
Grail.
the Holy
Yeah.
Grail,
Yeah.
and that didn't end in a big fight. The Temple of Doom ended in a big fight with the guy.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Poorly.
Temple of Doom's more original. But yeah, no, for me, when I was watching the Last Crusade, I thought this is a bit like Raiders, but without the angels. It's a bit, the guy gets all old, and then you know what I mean. It's kind of
You mean the ending, the bit at the ending when he picked the
yeah,
wrong cup?
they
Yeah.
Right.
find the thing, and then the baddies find the thing, and then the thing does it, then
Does
something
the thing.
Yeah, does
And
it,
then somebody
they go home.
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
Temple
did
of
like
Doom was
Last
the most,
Crusade.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Before we kind of do the deep dive, may I read the blurb, if that's okay?
Please.
So, so it's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, USA, 1984, Lucasfilm, directed by Steven Spielberg. Screenplay, is it Willard Hook
Yeah.
and Gloria Katz? Story by George Lucas. Starring Harrison Ford, Kate Capshaw. Is that Amrish Puri, Rashan Seth, Philip Stone, Kei Hu Kwan. Music introducing, thank you. Music introducing the music by John Williams. Box office US. I think this is worldwide actually. On a budget of $28.17 million, it made at the worldwide box office $333.1 million. Temple of Doom is set in 1935, 1 year before Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
and was deliberately set in 1935 because was it Lucas didn't want to see any more Nazis?
Yes, that's correct. Lucas didn't want to deal with Yahtzees anymore.
Which he didn't have to. It's not like they were absolutely everywhere around the world in 1936. I mean, we all know World War II started in 39. He was a bit ahead of the game as it was anyway. But that's
Right.
why. Yeah.
So, shall we discuss the film? So, I think we'll start with Swap Shop. Any thoughts of Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom?
This was the one I saw the most out of all 3 of them. You could possibly say I was obsessed when I watched it. I'd not seen anything to do with it whatsoever. I'd seen like reviews of it on film, whatever year it was, 86 or whatever year it was, and that was it. And rented it because I loved the first film so much. We went and rented it from the video shop and watched it. I had 2 of my mates around, my 2 best mates. My mum and dad were sat there. We had like an Indian takeaway. It was like a really great night. And then we put the movie on.
Nice.
It was just
Indian takeaway. Nice.
yeah.
Monkey brains.
Monkey brains and peel out rice.
Oh, that
Nice.
seems still
Yeah,
gross to me.
Yeah, we
out.
finished it before that scene, thankfully.
Oh.
But yeah, man. Honestly, back in the day, we used to have a video for like 2 days. You'll have it for like Saturday and Sunday, and take it back Sunday night or whatever, or Monday.
Don't forget to rewind.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And we watched. Me and my friends came back on the Sunday, and we watched it like another 3 times, right, over the weekend. We just couldn't stop watching it. And then I think we rented it again like a week later and watched it again for like all weekend. And then when it got finally released on you could buy the X rental version, which was like a slightly bigger like case because the rental versions were like slightly larger, weren't they?
Yeah.
I saw it for sale in the shop. I was like, oh my god, you can buy it for 15 quid. And I scrabbled together loads of change and anything I could find and just handed it over, like Monopoly money, whatever I could find. I just handed it over the counter and just said, give me it now. And it was like, it must have been the same copy that we'd been watching because it was like slowly starting to get worn out, you know? And because we'd been like rewinding it and pausing it and fast forwarding it and all sorts, like, because we watched it so much.
The crackling lights.
Honestly, yeah, we watched it so much, and it was just so enjoyable because there were so many great scenes in it that made us laugh, cringe, shiver. You know, we were right behind Indy when he was having fights, when he was punching the bad guys in the face. That whole scene in the cave with all the creepy crawlies was unbelievably horrible, but we loved it. We absolutely loved it. And you know, the whole minecart sequence was just Spielberg at his utmost best at directing action sequences. And you come out at the end of the movie on such a massive high that we just thought that's not enough. We need to go back for it again. We need to go back for another dive, you know. So we just like rewind it straight from the start again, you know. And we just watching it over.
Did they put crack cocaine on the surface of the videotape?
It's like little kids, you know, when they listen to an album in the car with their parents, and they drive the parents insane because they have to keep listening to the same song over and over and over. It's like we were like that, you know. We just could not stop watching it.
The Birdie song again. There you go. Temple of Doom, the Birdie song of movies.
But the thing is, right, it has had a negative effect now. So if I watch it again, I haven't seen it in years, and I really need to go back and watch them. But if I watch it again now, I know that Willie's voice is going to drive me insane because of her screaming all the way through the film. Because
oh my god, yes,
it was fine. But if I watch it now, I know it'll drive me nuts because that's all she does throughout the film is just scream her ass off. But you know, back then I fancied the hell out of her, and her poster here was just gorgeous as well. Like Drew Struzan's picture poster that he made here. I just loved. I was like staring at her on the cover, going, "Wow, Spielberg, you lucky bastard!"
She's 70.
Well, that's just burst my bubble. Really has. Well, yeah. I mean, having said that, Barbara Crampton from the Reanimator and From Beyond and horror B movies from the 80s still looks phenomenal now, and she must be in her like 60s. So you know,
Linda Carter looks amazing.
Oh, she
does.
She does.
Karen Allen, ding dong.
Oh,
ding dong.
Juicer. Oh,
she gained a little weight.
Well, I'm not going to be too critical about it, but you know, I mean, I want Short Round back though, you know, because he was such a great little character because he was in the Goonies as well, which was like a sort of back to back with this movie, really, wasn't it? And also directed by Spielberg, yeah. You know, they're both. He was pretty much the same age in both movies, but I just want to see him back as like recast, get the actor back. I don't know what he's doing these days, but he was great. I loved him in the movie. Just
stunt coordinator, apparently.
Blimey, that's amazing. We could get him back, no problem. He was like a great sort of little sidekick because you know he didn't really have a sidekick before. He was just him on his own in the first movie. And Short Round was just like a great addition to it. You know, he was like this really savvy little street kid, and I thought it just added a great new element to the movie. But admittedly, it did lack the Nazis being in it, but it made up for it, more than made up for it, as far as I'm concerned, with the new bad guys and the incredible action sequences all the way through it. It was literally a roller coaster ride from beginning to end. And I just adored it, utterly adored it. You know,
it literally was a roller coaster ride, wasn't it? That bit with the roller coaster, it was literally.
It was
a roller coaster ride.
They need to make an actual roller coaster like ride in a theme park based on that.
Oh, they did at Universal Studios in California. Yeah, there's an Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom ride.
Oh my god, I need to go on. I need to go on it badly. Yeah, that's it. I'm booking my ticket. But yeah, that's my £8 on the subject of the thing.
Very good. Reni, do you
Well,
like it? Dislike it? And on that
Wow,
moment,
that's just what
She
a big
voted with her
surprise.
feet.
Liked it so much that she's achieved critical mass and exploded.
She ran away.
I would just say
Exactly.
for everybody, watching this, this is a very important fact. The secret of comedy is
Timing. Sorry, I was a bit
That's-
early
It was funny.
that's the secret of comedy.
there. Oh,
Timing.
sorry, timing.
Timing. The secret of comedy.
Is
Timing.
coming back.
All right. Yay. Okay. Sorry
So if you
about
don't
that.
like it, Rennie, just say so.
No, I started talking and then it dropped out. So evidently my internet company is a big fan of Temple of Doom because I was about to tell you guys my opinion, but it's my least favorite. I'm with Cockney on this one. So, and it's not because so it's just a very dreary movie and it just doesn't have that adventure feel. And it, that I looked at in Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, it just didn't have that feel. It's very dark. And like I was telling you guys, George Lucas said that he had written it very dark because he was going through a really bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And even Steven Spielberg said he doesn't like the movie. But it just, when I was rewatching it today, I was like, oh, this is so creepy, like pulling people's hearts out of their chest and dumping them into a lake of lava and all that stuff just really was kind of a little bit disturbing for me. Now, it did have its comedic moments, and I believe they brought those in to try to balance it out. Yeah. But it's not my favorite. I know what they were trying to do with it, and overall, the storyline's pretty decent. It's just, there are certain points where and John Williams does a great job with the music because you can just feel the dread when they're, inside that area. But I have a really hard time watching it.
The little bit I saw tonight, I like the film, but it is a little grim, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And it's not what, we've come to expect from, Indiana Jones or Raiders or anything like that, at least for me. So for me, the movies were all about fun and, getting from point A to point B and, how he got there versus like, oh, this is scary, you might die. Of course, somebody's always chasing him, but it's different, So
what you're saying is comeback Yahtzees, all is forgiven.
Yes. Yeah, so to speak. No, it just had so much dread to it. It was like, oh my gosh, this is just.
It's very dark. Yes.
Yes.
Which really.
I'm totally fine with watching a scary movie or a horror film, but it just doesn't, to me, belong in Indiana Jones.
It's still a good film, but it is,
Yeah.
grim, dark. So. Brian. Do you want to interject?
I think I would have been about 7 when this film came out. I seem to recall seeing it again at school, maybe. So probably would have been about 8 when it came out, when I saw it. But it kind of scared the bejesus out of me. I was never the biggest fan of this one.
And you're from Glasgow as well, so you've seen some
Well,
things in your time. So
kind of
So it must
sensitive
be
child
bad.
back then.
Temple of
Right.
Doom, that's just a Saturday night out. Oi, mate, can you put those Shankara stones in batter? Thanks very much.
That's what they're powering their deep fat fryers with.
Shankara stones.
No, I was never the biggest fan of this one, to be honest. And I hate saying that in front of Demon after he's just given it such a glowing appraisal.
Well, it's whatever floats your boat, isn't it? Some people,
It is
some
just
people
opinion,
yeah.
I think it's maybe just an age thing as well. Being younger, I think something's the same as Rennie. It kind of sort of sticks in your head when you're younger and you still get the same feelings later on. It's bizarre. But it's never
Yeah.
something. The good lady absolutely loves these films to the point where I had to sit through Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a few years back, much to my dismay. But
that's
she
a good
probably
one.
should have got her to talk about this because she could talk about it all day and does.
Stream killer.
I should have sat this one out.
Somebody
Captain?
bring up Henry Cavill, Superman. No, just kidding.
I'm going to claw myself back a bit. I want to basically quote Tyron Beard, who earlier in the chat said, yeah, nah, which is a standard Kiwi response. I think that is basically, I mean, it's not completely awful. Well, it got me thinking into the bigger question. What is a good movie? What is a bad movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's not so bad that I don't want to watch it. So, yeah, once I pop, it's that catch-22. Yeah, I'm looking at me endless rack of Blu-rays, watched and unwatched. Oh, I can't be bothered. But if I pop it on, as I did once it's on, it's fine. But then you just catch your brain analysing it. I think if I'm going to contradict myself now, no, I'm not. I think the other three all kind of have the same plot. Find a thing, then the other guys find. Well, this one, it's a different plot, but it's a bit basic. It's like a fetch quest, isn't it? It's kind of like get the stones, go to the thing. We got the stones. We escaped with the stones. We're on the bridge. We got one of the stones. The end. So it's a bit basic plot wise, wasn't it? Go to the thing and get the thing. So
At least they had machetes. That's good, right?
Yeah, that was good. The whole thing on the bridge, it's just everything rested. What happened on the bridge? And basically, Indy's halfway on the bridge and has this genius idea. I know, I just tuck my ankle into this bit of loose rope and suddenly I'm going to survive and everyone else is going to die. I didn't quite buy it, really. That was what I picked up on this latest viewing. Everything rested on the bridge. Indy's magic bridge. Only the baddies fall off the bridge, not the goodies. It just, didn't buy it. And also, it's definitely subjective in the realms of opinion. Clearly, opposite of Swap Shop here, but just worst female lead ever, least romantic romance to me, subjectively. For me, Karen Allen, beautiful. Kate Capshaw, well, she's Hollywood beautiful. She's like Superman, she's ugly in Hollywood. I think, and she was knobbing the director. I think that's always going to be a killer for a movie. So, yeah, I think even the characters, I think Marion Ravenwood had background with the Indiana Jones. She knew how to give him a right hook. She was tough. She was independent. She was sassy. Well, what we got here, some blonde bint that's just basically walked off stage going, insects. I mean, I know, yeah, but Cockney, that's the point. It's the contradistinction of her lack of luxury surroundings. Now she's in the jungle. Yeah, I know, it just didn't work for me. Just, bring back Marion Ravenwood, which they thankfully, maybe that's why I do generally prefer the Crystal Skull, because at least it's got Marion in it, and so that, I admit, that's completely subjective, but just as always, I'll take the brunette over the blonde, and just Willie Scott, least favorite female lead protagonist love interest ever.
Hey, boom. PJ, thanks for coming.
That's what Willie Scott said.
Yes. It's a good film. But do you feel like our expectations were subverted back in the day? But at least,
it's like
at least it's still,
It was trying to be different. It was too different and too similar in all the wrong way. They got the wrong balance of second album syndrome, basically, I thought. I don't know. Just didn't do it for me. Didn't float my boat, but it's watchable.
Right. So, MegaGeek.
Indy.
Thoughts?
Well, I like it. It's a good movie in my opinion.
What about Temple of Doom?
Yeah. No, I like Temple of Doom. To say all of them were the same is like to say James Bond is different from each one. Isn't James Bond? They do the same thing as well mostly in every film. It's about the girl. It's about killing people. It's about So that was the tone of James Bond, and this is the tone of Indiana Jones. So I'm not surprised that they did. The thing is, though, they did the same thing, but they did it differently in Temple of Doom. One of the reasons why I like Temple of Doom is because, it didn't try to copy Raiders of the Lost Ark. It started off very differently to Raiders, and it tried to be its own thing. But that's only one of the reasons why I like this film. I mean, just like Matt, I saw it like 50 times, actually 20 times in the cinema, because I was old enough to go to the cinema at that point. And I really like it. I mean, I think it's scary. I think it's funny. I think it's stupid. And I also think it's exhilarating. And, and that's one of the reasons why I like this film. And in fact, I think all of them...
Much like this stream.
Yeah. I think all three movies are absolutely terrific. They have their faults, yes, but what film doesn't have their faults? I didn't like Crystal Skull because it didn't feel like Indiana Jones at all. It was about UFOs and aliens, and it was set in the 60s, so it didn't really feel like an Indiana Jones film to me. But the other three obviously was, and Temple of Doom, it's different to the other two because it delved into the dark aspects of I guess a bad religion, I guess, didn't it?
And children.
And it was dark. It was very dark, and it's obviously copying the B pictures of the day, because there were loads of films like with a guy with a hat swinging through the jungle, fighting against thuggies and stuff like that. If you go back into the 30s, loads of B pictures that had this kind of thing. So they were just trying to stick to the original 30s kind of tone of it. I love Short Round. I thought he was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
and as a kid watching it, you wanted to be Short Round.
Oh yeah.
And I agree with Cockney. Spielberg's wife was a screamy, she was just terrible. But I that's just one of the things I didn't like about it. I mean, what can I say? The film is exhilarating from start to finish. Obviously there's a bit in it where it slows down a bit, but then once it gets going, and it's pure entertainment as far as I'm concerned. It's got some iconic moments in it, just like the first one, like the hat, because everybody copied the hat thing in movies, didn't they?
Oh my God, yes.
With the spikes, and then as he comes through the thing, he grabs his hat before the thing closes. And I've seen that in so many times, in sketches, comedy sketches and stuff like that. And do you know what I mean? I've seen that happen. So it has classic moments in this film as well as, and it's only because Spielberg and George Lucas was involved, because Spielberg is a very, very, very he's a great director, and he knows how to make moments so you can be the edge of your seat. And that scene with the spikes, that was an example of I was on the edge of my seat there with those spikes coming down, and the comedy aspect of Willie Scott bending down and starting the whole thing over again. I thought it was absolutely great. Terrific. It's a terrific movie as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I shall stop there.
I found the bugs more suspenseful than the spikes. Those really freaked me out just watching it again today, because they're real. They're real. They're not effects.
No,
and when they started crawling all over her or all over,
I love that scene where he goes.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Pull the lever, and she looks at the lever and it's got all these bugs, and she just can't do it, and his hand sticks out the hole and it goes, "Do it now!" I think those scenes are brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did that without freaking out. I really don't. I heard she took some sort of sedative. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think it was.
Well, yeah, she had no idea, did she?
I heard that. Yeah.
What's that line? Willie, we are going to die, he says.
Yeah.
Nice delivery, sir.
It's a brilliant film. I mean, as I said, Cockney has his reasons not why he doesn't like it, and so does Reni. But I just find this film a joy all the way through. I love the beginning where he punches that woman, where he's so drunk and he turns around and he punches that woman. I thought it was hilarious.
It's a sign of any good film, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love the bit where
nowadays.
The big shield when they're firing at Indy, and he uses the shield as a shield. And he grabs Willie and they smash through the window. It's a great movie as far as I'm concerned.
I laughed really hard when she pulled the snake off of her and she didn't realize it was a snake, and Indiana just freaked out so bad.
Oh yeah, so good. And then what Ian just said about the whole sequence in the bar when it's being shot up, and there's the antidote to the poison.
Yeah, that's great.
It turns into
the diamond as well.
Sort of fast chase around the place, doesn't it? And then the gong starts rolling, and they're trying to shoot him behind the gong, and he's using it as cover and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean that really influenced me in a sequence in the novel that I've written. So there's so much in the Indiana
what
Jones
novel
movie.
is that? Pray tell.
Oh, it's that one that I've been telling you about all the time. Yeah, and there's like a big sort of like a not a throne room, but like a typical kind of like court sort of thing. And there's a big sort of jumping and swinging and shooting and all this stuff going on, chasing something around, etc., etc. And it was directly influenced by that. So that stuck with me all that time.
Do you know what, guys? Just like to say one more thing, okay? This is how genius Spielberg is, right? So there's a moment in this film that he directed that you probably wouldn't have noticed, but you did feel for the scene because of what he did with the camera. I give an example. There's a scene in it where Indy's asking what happened in the town, and the Indian guy's explaining to him what happened in the town, but he's saying it in his language. So Indiana Jones has to explain it to Willie in English, right? Do you remember that scene?
Yes.
So that was for the audience, obviously. So when the guy was explaining it, he was saying blah, 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 blah. And it ends on the line where he says, the children, they stole the children. But what Spielberg did to influence you, to make you feel for what he said, was he had the camera at Harrison Ford's eye line. And then as they were talking, the camera was getting lower and lower and lower. And when he says the last line, children, they stole the children, the camera's looking up at Harrison Ford. And what Spielberg was saying is, how low can you get that you're stealing children from this? It's a visual thing that Spielberg, and that's how much he of a genius of a director he is. You probably didn't notice it, but I noticed it when I was watching it.
The MegaGeek is on a different level to the rest of us.
But no, I mean, but that's the reason. One of the reasons why this film is so good. There's so many different things he did in this film that, that's just one example of what he did. So, anyway, I'll stop.
You have a great attention to detail. I think it's awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I didn't know Harrison Ford was in that thing.
I have just realised there's 6 of us on the panel, 6, and it's basically a 50-50 split. I like the film. I think it's a great film. It's dark, but it's a great film. Swapshop likes it. MegaGeek likes it. So that's 3 out of 6. Captain, Brian, and Reni don't like it.
But it's certainly got good bits.
Straight down the middle.
Yeah, but I'm non-binary on it. I'm not like, oh, it's the worst thing ever.
I'm non-binary.
It has its moments. So I'm, if I was going to go into the numbering system, I'd give it, 4.99 out of 10 or something like that.
Not 1 or 0.
Yeah, exactly. It has its moments. It was just, not enough good ones. But I can see why people do like it. So it's basically a great example of subjective. There's no gaping plot holes that I can think of. I'm sure if you look hard enough, there are some. I think it makes a bit of a plot hole in Raiders because, why now, after having that experience with the Shankara stones, does Indiana Jones now suddenly not believe in any kind of mystical nonsense?
A lot of people said that.
Yeah. So, and there was ultimately it was the script writers going, "Oh fuck it, we don't care." Just But that ultimately affects Raiders. So for me, I think maybe it's a great example of what makes a film good or bad. And after a certain point, it's just opinion. It might be simply a case of, well, I just like brunettes better than blondes, so I like the Indiana Jones films with their I didn't like the other one with the blonde Nazi in it either. It's a bit Freudian, him and his dad. You know what I mean? But
and also, it was the film that invented that joke, wasn't it? When Harrison Ford, beats up those 2 thuggy guards on the cliff, and then he runs towards the screen and he starts screaming and he stops and he runs off. And then hundreds of thuggy guys were chasing him. That was the gag that's been copied so many times. It was copied in
Star Wars.
Max 3. Star Wars. Star Wars. Yeah, but it was done better in this film. And as I said, loads of films copied that gag.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, it's got loads of moments. Remember that bit where they're on the rock face, and Indiana Jones goes down when they leave, goes down to get the stones.
Like Batman.
He goes down to get the stones, and Willie, and
she grabs his Willie.
Willie
he goes down and he grabs his Willie.
He's like Batman and Catwoman, huh?
Willie and Short Round are up on the thing, and
she has a short reach around to grab his stone.
Oh God!
This turned it into a carry-on film, isn't it?
It's just a big innuendo now, isn't it?
Yeah. But do you remember that scene where they just say, "Where's Indy gone?" and then suddenly that head pops up, and everybody in the cinema. Everybody in the cinema just kind of jumps. Do you remember that scene, Matt?
Yes.
Because you're the only sane one there. Do you remember that scene?
Oh, Ian.
Do you remember that scene? That scene worked so well.
I remember it, yes. Good scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene,
It is
that Shankara stone in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Actually, it's both.
Kalima.
Kalima.
Okay, so
Kalima.
As per last week, I grabbed a few pictures from Internet Movie Database, So shall we just kind of? I've
Oi,
tried. To,
Cockney,
You
can
find
you
Kathleen
spot? Can
Kennedy?
you spot Kathleen Kennedy? Yeah, find Kathleen Kennedy, and that's just
Oh,
like
she's in there
finding Willie,
somewhere.
isn't it?
Kathleen.
Finding Willie.
when I saw her in the
Where's
opening
Wally?
credits today, I was like, "Oh, that's right."
She's in there somewhere.
She is. I chose not to look at faces.
I will say to Ian, even the the anything goes sequence at the beginning,
On 1:30.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about it?
even that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great. As I said, it's a
Just
great
absolutely
movie.
fantastic. You can just appreciate the craft that has gone into just basically a dance.
And
to
that
me.
nod to James Bond as well. I don't know if you guys noticed it in the beginning. Did you not notice the nod to James Bond?
Please
Matt?
The
tell.
martini.
Yes.
Yes, it was
No.
very James Bond, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so the nod to James Bond was he was wearing the same outfit as Sean Connery in Goldfinger, even down to the rose on his lapel. So if you watch Goldfinger, he's wearing the white jacket, the black tie, and the rose on his lapel.
Like the
If you watch Goldfinger.
Codebreaker in The Last Jedi. Oh,
It's just-
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So there you go. So,
So-
they made that nod to Goldfinger, which
Yeah.
is
So
really cool.
somewhere in there, there's Auntie Kathy.
She's there somewhere. She's wearing a blonde wig, so you can't spot her.
She had to be boffing Lucas at this point. Sure.
The-
Oh, come on, man.
Her
How else
title
did
on
you get Lucas film? Come on.
her
Kelly.
title on the film was associate producer,
Yep.
Coffee with a lot of cream.
because I
Extra
saw
cream
that on the
delicious.
opening credits. Associate producer
I'd
Kathleen
like to
Kennedy.
think that when Indiana Jones turned around and punched the girl in the face, I like to think
It
that's
was her.
Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, that's Kathleen
It was.
Kennedy.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Yeah.
So yeah, the anything goes sequence, really, really good.
Terrific.
Yeah,
I love this film.
It's very, very catchy. Just spot on. So here we go.
There you go.
There it
The
is.
Codebreaker from The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reni, what do you think?
Pretty nice. Yeah.
Noise.
Nice.
But I am a James Bond fan, little known fact. So I did notice that nod to it, and I was like, very Bond-like. Even his entrance, whenever he
Yeah.
walked down the stairs, very Bond-like. But yes, younger Harrison Ford, absolutely
I
hot.
I will kind of say 84, 85, probably peak Harrison
He wasn't
Ford.
85 then. He was in.
I'm talking about the year.
Heyo.
Oh, right, okay.
I would say this was peak Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not
agreed.
know you could speak my language, Dr. Jones, only on special occasions. That's what he says. I love that line. So here you go.
Can you see his little pinky? I've just noticed the pinky there. Can you see it?
Yeah, kind of like a James Bond thing too.
Little
Yeah.
pinky, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a
Low
long
class.
fingernail there, the same as Carrie did?
Yeah. Code finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
looking
a
body.
great sequence. Great sequence. I love that sequence with the diamond and everything. There's Lau, who owns the airline that he went in that plane.
Yeah.
Remember that scene?
Okay, airline.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Great
Oh,
stuff.
that's
Well,
like a scene
the,
from Top Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that where the pilots jump out the plane?
Yeah, and also he cut that guy's finger off in the Indiana Jones because he was trying to steal the diamond from him, and he cut his finger off. That's why he's got a bandage on there.
Yes, they didn't
He
show
says
it,
to
but
him.
yeah,
yeah,
they showed
yeah.
the
it says
bandage.
it to him. And also the Chinese detective is in this scene as well, David.
Mhm.
Yip.
David Yip.
Yeah, David Yip, the assistant who got shot.
Yeah, he's the one that went first.
Yeah,
Indy
to the next
Indy.
life. Yeah,
to the next life. Yeah. Brilliant scene. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, I hated this bit though. For those dummies in that raft was
The
just
blow up raft.
horrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible. But there you go.
You know,
It's-
there's no way that would actually work out if you were to jump off a plane in a
right.
blow up raft.
I've tried it. Does not work.
In fact,
Ow.
Cockney's in a hospital right now.
Yep, calling you live from the hospital. I've got no kneecaps, but I'm happy though.
Yeah.
And I'll have to check the map. How'd you go from Shanghai to India in a couple of hours?
Exactly.
It's not the bloody
Yeah.
Concorde, is it? It's a different part of the continent.
and they use the same sound effects of the Millennium Falcon breaking down as the plane breaking down. It was the same sound effect they used.
Yes, I
So,
noticed that too.
Yeah.
Nice trivia.
Well, I did investigate this film when I was a kid and watched it 20 times. So, yeah.
I like Swapshop, who's just sourcing more and more posters of Kate Capshaw.
yeah.
I will say when I was trawling through the pictures last week, I said so many iconic scenes from Raiders.
Yeah.
Wasn't so many on this one.
There were loads. What are you talking about? The bridge was an iconic scene.
That
The
bridge was rubbish.
the chase.
The magic bridge.
The chase on because the what is it? The drawbridge was featured a lot in the 30s action movies of the B pictures, so that's why they had it in there. I'm not sure about the monkey brains though being a classic.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
that
sure
was so
about
gross.
that though. Yeah.
Even though I know it really wasn't monkey brains, I think they used like Jello or something. It was
Yeah, they
so
did.
gross. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Can
I
I
love
have that in
doing that.
batter?
No, I didn't like this scene too much, but I did, as I said, there's a lot of great scenes in this movie, as far as I was concerned. So,
I love the bit when Indy runs
This is
into
an
a room.
iconic scene.
sorry, Matt, what'd you say?
I was just going to say, I love the bit when Indy runs into a room and she's lying there on the bed. She said, "Oh, be gentle with me, be gentle
Oh,
with
yeah.
me." No interest in her whatsoever.
Yeah.
This was an iconic scene.
Yeah. I like the line where Willie says there are 2 dead people in there, and he goes, "There's going to be 2 dead people in there."
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's great, absolutely terrific movie.
Did he have some chewing gum or something, and it just fell out of his mouth?
I don't know what fell out of his mouth.
Something fell out of his mouth, didn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember. I haven't seen this film in about 2 years now. I need to rewatch it. It's a really good movie. But a lot of people complain about this scene, about how they treated the we call them Indians over here, the Indian race.
Yes.
They didn't get permission to film in India, did they? Because
No.
of the portrayal. So
I think it was Sri Lanka.
Yes, it was.
I think the British should complain. What about that British captain? What? He's he's
Dan
making
Ranker.
look like a pompous ass, and then at the end, he's on at the end for 1 second, but he's literally saved the entire show.
Came through.
He did,
Exactly. He should have had about another 90 minutes of screen time.
Maybe
Classic
at least a spin-off series.
So I think so. Call me biased, but I think the man in the pith helmet saved the bloody day. Classic.
He did.
What?
He did.
What?
What was his name, Cockney? What was his name in the show?
Captain blah blah blah.
But I'd like to change it to Captain Cockney. That's what I like to change it.
There you go. Quite right. Melchip. They should have called him Melchip. What are you doing here, Jones? What?
Right.
Oh, he's good though, isn't he?
He is.
He was in good
Another iconic scene.
This is an iconic scene as well. Yeah, I love the bit where he's on the bridge and they fire all those arrows at him, and he stops and he goes, "Jesus!" and he just carries on. I mean, those little jokes are really
They
cool.
all miss.
They all miss him. Yeah. But if you look closely, he's got a harness on. You can see the bit where he's struggling with.
He's got what up?
He's got a harness that's holding him on the bridge, the stunt guy. So when they're fighting on the bridge, the bad guy and him, you can see the harness holding him up if you look closely. Yeah. So, but yeah.
I will say, going back to my previous comment about peak Ford, shoulders like that take a lot of training to get shoulders like that. So,
yes, sir.
He's done a lot of training for this film. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
MC in the chat. Alexis Sale was in Last Crusade.
He is, yeah.
You fucking Garibaldi.
Flogging cars, wasn't it?
No, he wanted the car as payment. Yeah, as payment. Yeah. This is the scene I was talking about, which you turned into a carry-on joke. This scene here, yeah.
Oh, the reach arounds.
Doing our best, mate. Doing our best.
This scene was particularly dark, though, wasn't it? Where they sacrificed the guy, took his heart out, whipped kids, burnt people. Yeah, it was very, very dark.
For comedy.
They didn't. They
Carry on,
didn't even.
Carly.
They didn't even do this at the BBC back in the day, did they?
No, I guess not.
Moving
I
on.
don't know. Yeah, but no, it's again, it's a great scene in my opinion.
It's a nicely framed shot, isn't it? That?
Yeah.
There was a few pictures of the set. It was a very nice set.
Indiana Jones looking down at, and what's interesting about this film as well is that Indiana Jones, all he was after was fortune and glory, but then his whole attitude is the arc that he took. He changed and he gave his prize back to the village.
Yeah.
So Indiana Jones was only after fortune and glory, and then at the ending, because of what happened, he gave that all up so that the village could live on.
See, that's a bit like with Star Wars. If you give like the Han Solo, if you give him a character arc in the first movie, he's got nothing to learn in the other three. So that's again, if they'd said it in 37 instead of 1930, who knows? It's just a film, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
MC in the chat at Mr. Brown.
Crying
laughing
with laughter.
Crying symbols.
Crying with laughter.
Oh,
I knew somebody would appreciate that very, very bad taste joke. But anyway. Okay,
Topical.
so here we go.
They cut this out in the British theatrical release. They cut the bit out where he took his heart out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they cut it out, and I think it's on the Blu-ray definitely, and it's not on the DVD where he takes his heart out. So, and on the VHS they cut it out as well for the UK VHS. They cut
because
it out.
it was on the Blu-ray I watched this afternoon. I'm just
it's on the Blu-ray. Yeah, it's on the Blu-ray. That poor guy was still alive when he got his heart got taken out.
Yeah,
He was still alive.
It's just a movie.
My ex did that to me. She took my heart out one of the
Dear, oh dear.
Your
I think
romance.
that's the reason for the.
That's good. That's
metaphor,
my
isn't
first
it?
marriage right there. Cockney Ma. Cockney Ma.
Yeah.
You pulled out my heart and then she took the house.
oh Lord.
I
No,
do
fine.
apologise,
Well.
MegaGeek, for turning this into the carry-on stream again.
Yeah, it's all right. I think it's fun. I just want Matt. What were you going to say, pal?
I was just saying that's the metaphor for the heart being ripped out of the chest, isn't it? For like what Lucas was going through. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, you
Exactly.
put
Observation.
opening chest. I
God
never
is
realised
good.
that.
God is good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's working on several levels. So that's
If you look at this
basically-
film carefully,
Lucas
there are
tied up
a
there.
lot of levels to this film. A lot of levels, but a lot of people don't see it. It's crazy. But they
Swap
don't
Shop
see it.
does.
Yeah, I know. Swapswap does. I know he does. So
I know you
Yeah.
know.
I know.
And we know
he
that
knows.
you know that he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Reni is new to the channel, but she knows.
Yeah.
I do.
I didn't know that she knew.
I knew that you knew that.
Well,
I
you
knew
know
that.
now.
Now I know. Oh, I know now. Now I do.
What's the name of the what's the name of the guy who's doing all the heart stuff? What's his name again?
Mr.
Oh,
Blobby?
starts with an M. It's like
not
man
sorry.
something or mum something.
What was his
Oh,
name? I can't
what does he shout?
Kalima!
That's easy.
According to
Prenup.
MC,
I said prenup.
remember.
MC says, "Oh, matron."
Matron.
No, I can't remember his name. He was I know it was the something the thuggy cult. I know it was the thuggy cult, thuggy or fugly, according to her
The
and
fugly
Superman.
cult.
Reni
Fugly.
They
and
all look
Superman,
like
fugly.
Superman.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Is it Mola Ram or have I got the wrong guy here?
That's it, Molaram.
That's it.
Molaram. Yeah.
See,
Well
that's
done, Brian.
right.
You
Yeah.
can come on here anytime, mate. With
Whey,
people like that.
that's
Well
what
done,
Willie
mate.
Scott said.
Let him go,
Still
Molaram. Yeah. Brilliant
Chaka
stuff.
Khan, Molaram, Molaram.
Yeah.
So that was it.
That's all
What?
the pictures.
What?
What?
I thought I downloaded
we-
more pictures, but obviously not. So, Ian, can you say to the peeps at home what happened after the pulling the heart? So, How did Jones win? Because it's been so long since I've watched it, I've forgotten.
He got burnt by Short Round, and he came out the trance. And
Yeah, he
then
drank
him and Short
something,
Round,
didn't he?
yeah,
He
they
drank
made him
something.
drink the
Commander.
thing that hypnotizes him, yeah.
LSD.
And
Yeah.
LSD, yeah. And Short Round got out of his bonds and burnt Indy, and Indy came out the trance, and they all
Dutch trance.
fought together and freed all the
Happily
kids.
ever after.
And all the kids attacked the thuggies. You know, it's honestly, I remember this film like the back of my hand.
The as Cockney said, the British Dan Ranker turned up, didn't he?
At the ending,
Right at the end.
yeah, right at the very end. But even at the ending, when they looked down and Indy wasn't nowhere to be seen, even when I was in the cinema, every time I saw it, I always like, where is he? Please let him be alive. And then his hand comes up,
Oh, bless you.
and his last hand has the stone, doesn't it? It's absolutely brilliant as far as I'm concerned. So.
Because he saves one stone but drops the other two in the river.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But
he
what
does.
happens to those? Do we ever find out? Are they going to pop?
I think
up as,
the
number
crocodiles ate him.
That's what I was going to say. The
Crocodiles ate him,
crocodiles
yeah.
ate him.
Yeah. So
They must have come out the other end at some point.
yeah,
Ooh,
exactly.
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carly's
Yikes.
Revenge.
You think
Especially
Barton
the
Kidney
size
Stone's
of it.
bad?
It's
Oh, I
a
can sit down for weeks.
exhilarating movie though. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, action all the way, mostly. You know, a lot of fun, a lot of darkness in there. You know, towards the ending, it was a lot of fun as well. You know, the minecart chase was absolutely brilliant. It's amazing how they did that because it was all done by models and go motion and, you know, moving it frame by frame and all that. And then when they were actually in the minecart, they had a set that went round in a circle. So you were seeing the same rocks. So it looked like they were really going far, but they weren't really. They were just going round in a circle, just like the cartoons, Hanna-Barbera cartoons with the background. Keep seeing the same background. So they did that, you know, and that was an amazing feat of special effects. Yeah. Yeah. I love the gag where the rail, the rails are missing and the minecart just jumps from one point to the next. I remember in the cinema, the whole audience just screamed with laughter when that scene happened. I remember, you know, it also, I mean, one of the reasons why I like it is because of the experience of being in the cinema with the audience. You know, every time I went to see it, and I saw it 20 times, the cinema was always packed. You know, and people were just laughing at all the same jokes. You know, so you know that's my memories of it, I guess. You know, but I think memories. A lot of people remember watching it on VHS, but I'm a lot older than everybody. Yeah, and I saw it in the cinema. So
Yeah, it was VHS for me.
yeah,
You're talking about memories.
yeah. Definitely.
Are those memories implanted?
Maybe we never actually saw Temple of Doom.
Is MegaGeek a replicant?
Now we come to the question.
I might be.
Just because I'm a hipster doesn't make it any less true.
Yeah. All will be lost now. Like Tears in the Rain.
Oh my goodness.
No, I reckon Quaid was a replicant, but Blade Runner was a dream. That's my new theory.
Quaid. MC in the chat says, I saw it in cinema.
Yeah. And it was on real film as well. It was projected by real film when I saw it. So it wasn't digital.
You couldn't see it properly.
No. I saw it 20 times in the West End. So they had a good print. I think about that time they shut down the two locals where I was living. And I had no choice. Yeah, the flea pits were shut down. And no choice but to go to the West End cinemas. Yeah.
Have the films actually been re-released at the cinema?
I don't think so. No,
they were here.
Were they
late 90s, early 2000s? I think when they did the whole Star Wars thing, where they re-released the special editions. They did something like that here with Indiana Jones. So I did watch all three of them in the movie theater at that time.
Wow.
Still was not enjoying Temple of Doom in the theater, but different experience for me as a kid, and my parents thought it was really funny that I thought it was scary, but yeah, it was pretty cool being able to actually watch like all of them in the movie theater as an adult.
I think Spielberg at that moment in time, he was doing things that were just on the edge. Like if you look at Jaws, there's no way Jaws should have been given I think over here it was an A. You should have been given an AA because when I was growing up, it was U, A, AA, and X. And so that was the certificates that the UK had. And when Jaws was released, it was given an A. But the amount of blood that was in Jaws, it should have really been given an AA. So Spielberg was getting away with a lot. And this, you know, when he made Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, you know, they created a new certificate for it because they found it was so violent, you know. So, you know, he did push the envelope.
Isn't it? Spielberg took the actual motion picture certificate, whatever they are, boards. Make up a PG-13 just for my movie. Okay, Stephen.
Well, that way he didn't have to go with the hard R rating and then lose his bread and butter, so to speak.
Yeah, the teenagers.
But Spielberg was part of the union, and George Lucas wasn't. Well, he was kind of, but he basically George Lucas is an independent filmmaker. So Star Wars, all the Star Wars films that he made was independent from the studio system.
Yes, that's true.
And same thing with Indiana Jones as well. So yeah, I mean, when you think about it.
Lucas got trouble with the Directors Guild, didn't he? Because on Empire Strikes Back, he didn't put the director's name at the front. Irving Kershner. He got away with it in Star Wars because he was the director.
He got fined, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
but he persuaded them that, you know, this was integral to the movie, because the first Star Wars movie, obviously there was a law saying that credits need to be in front of the film before the film starts, and he just starts off with the crawl. And so he had to fight for that. He had to fight for it, and he won in the end because it was artistic. It was an artistic choice. So
it was a good one.
Do that, eh?
Wow,
I didn't know that.
Sorry, people were talking at the same time. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying it's kind of weird in hindsight to think that this guild could have so much power. Ultimately, you know, of all the things that could be offensive and censored out of movies, he hasn't put someone's name at the front. Oh my goodness, what will we do? Quick, get the name in there, Marge. I'm going to have a heart attack. So, you know,
yeah, because if you notice that all the films before Star Wars, they literally had credits in the beginning. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark had credits again, but then again, that was part of the artistic merit of the film. But George Lucas is right. Why should there be credits if you decide to have the credits at the ending? What's wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, it's a creative choice.
Yeah.
Although it's more Raiders than Temple of Doom, but I noticed having completed my Blu-ray non-box set by finally purchasing Raiders last weekend. I noticed on the cover they changed it to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. But on the screen, they didn't bother changing it. So it still says Raiders of the Lost Ark and in a different typeface anyway. I thought, lazy designer slags. Couldn't be fucked to do it on the screen, could they?
But I mean, if you look at Raiders of the Ark very carefully, it is very, very violent. I mean, from the spikes in Dr. Octopus in the beginning to the spiders to the ending of people's faces. Yeah, it is Dr. Octopus, isn't it? The face melting and stuff like that. You know, people getting run over by cars and stuff like that. You know, it is very, very violent. You know, so and getting chopped up by
a mirror to the chin.
That's right. Yeah. And remember the bit where the guy gets chopped up by the propellers of the plane.
Yes.
You know, so it's very violent, but you know, that's the way films were going, I guess.
That's what we like.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We don't see stuff like that anymore, do we now really?
The old ultra violence.
No, not really.
The thing is, though, it wasn't. If you look at it very carefully, it wasn't violent at all. Really, you saw blood on the window, but you never saw him get chopped up.
It was left to the imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, some
it was
of
implied. It wasn't shown. Yeah.
And did you know, right,
implied,
in Pulp Fiction, when he sticks that needle in Uma Thurman's chest, you don't see it.
They film
it.
Everybody says they see it. Yeah, they did, but you don't see it. You just hear the noise, and she gets up. But everybody swears that they've seen it. They've seen the needle go into her because Quentin Tarantino is so violent. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
If you watch it closely, you don't see it go in.
No, you
but
don't
people
see
are
it.
just too insistent.
Yeah. That's violence for you, isn't it? There you go.
I love Quentin
Overrated, mate.
Tarantino.
Or violence.
Yeah.
I've been divorced.
I like QT also.
Yeah, he's good when he's good, if you know what I mean. Yeah, a couple of films I don't like that he made, but you know, he's a good director, he's a good writer.
Yeah, which films did you not like?
I didn't like
My next question.
I didn't like the film with Samuel L. Jackson where he was a cowboy and and they were in the snow. I can't remember what that one was called.
Oh, The Hateful Eight?
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all.
You didn't think it was funny when Channing Tatum got his head blown off?
I did, but that whole sequence,
that one.
Didn't make any sense, did it? It didn't make any sense.
No, but it made me laugh so hard.
Because he was hiding under there all that time, and he could have come out any time to take over the situation, but he didn't. So the whole of that plot sequence didn't make any sense at all.
I laugh every time it happens, and I'm terrible, but I just hate Channing Tatum, so that's why I think it's so funny.
Well, he played a flying dog, didn't he, with that Mila Kunis and that science fiction thing that didn't take off, isn't it?
Oh yes,
Jupiter something.
Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah,
right, I'm a flying dog.
Reni, so what are your favourite QT films?
Of course, Pulp Fiction is one of my favorites. I do like. It's not technically his whole film, but I like the film 4 Rooms. It's a really weird film, but it's got him in it.
Yeah.
Or it's got one of his segments in it with what's his name, Tim Roth. I do like The Hateful Eight. I do like Django Unchained.
I like Django Unchained.
Never seen it.
Honestly, there's really not a whole lot of Quentin Tarantino films I don't like. Was Dusk Till Dawn? That's the one where he was in it with.
He
George
wrote
Clooney,
it.
is that
He
right?
kind
Yeah,
of wrote
that's
it, didn't he? That was
Yeah.
Well,
good.
he helped write it. It was
Robert Rodriguez.
True Romance.
True
Yeah, he wrote
Romance
that.
and, like,
Didn't direct it though.
it was okay, but I'm not a big Patricia Arquette fan. And Christian Slater, not a big fan of his either. But
discount Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Want to be Jack Nicholson? Let's
Yeah,
get
he
this
is,
right.
you're right.
Yeah.
I detested. Was it Death Proof?
Oh, I did not see that.
That wasn't his
Don't.
film. Oh, was it his film?
Yes,
Yeah, he
Death Proof
directed.
was.
Oh, right.
With
yeah.
Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Fuck it. God, it was
Where he
bad.
drives like this car or whatever, and it's weird. I haven't
Probably
seen
one
it.
of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah, not great. The premise was good, but ultimately,
I did like Pulp Fiction, apart from the Bruce Willis bit where he was talking to his girlfriend forever and ever and ever, and I was just like, "Come on, please get on with this."
Yeah,
just for all that was just rubbish. It was no need
the whole.
for that.
Are you sure you wouldn't like it if I had a pot belly?
Yeah,
This is
and all that
stupid.
rubbish. Yeah, it's like, oh, come on.
But
yeah.
I did like the watch story. That always cracks me up every single time.
Yeah.
I had to have that hunk of junk up my ass for 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so gross, but so funny.
I liked his
It is
first couple
good.
of films. Dogs was good. Pulp Fiction was
Yeah.
good, but after his last film, which I didn't even see, he's off the creative roll call forever for what he did he besmirched the memory of Bruce Lee. I can't have that. I'm a Bruce Lee fan, so that's it. So Quentin Tarantino, no, you're out.
Yep.
Oh,
No,
It was a funny scene, though, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
I have
I
not
thought it
seen
was.
that yet.
was it
I haven't
called?
seen it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That was it.
It went crazy shit at the end.
I kind of
The
liked
ending
it,
is
but
brilliant.
he's got a thing for feet, isn't he? Because there's
Yes.
loads of girls that have their feet out for some reason.
Oh, blimey.
Ew,
Yeah.
gross.
He's the opposite of me. I can't stand feet. Get a pair of high heels on, love, will you? Oh, I don't want to see your bunions.
Yeah, cover that up with socks. You know,
Toe jam.
just put on a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Some things, stockings, hold ups, tights, even pop socks, anything. But exactly. Uma Thurman's plates in it. But dear. Can you imagine Brie Larson being in a film?
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino getting her fucking big plates. You need to film it on widescreen just to fit them on the fucking monitor.
What do you guys
I know
think
she's your
of,
girlfriend, Brown.
What do you guys think of the Kill Bill movies?
I liked the first one. The second one was absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the ending was just like, after all this, all she did was do 3 fingers on his chest, and he died. Expecting this epic battle between Bill and her, and then she does that, and you think, this is Rian Johnson, isn't it? He directed this bit. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
It's just like, what the hell, you know? But yeah, I didn't like
MC in the chat says, "Is QT still doing Star Trek?"
No.
No, I don't think
Never.
so.
Not your Nelly. Not happening.
No. He would have did a good Star Trek though. If he
Yeah,
did
well,
it.
he got impatient, I
R-rated.
think.
Mm,
Like, they kept giving him the runaround, so I think he just said, screw this shit, I'm out. And I
yeah,
don't blame him.
yeah.
I think he could have with the correct story, reinvigorated Star Trek.
But you know what, right?
But-
He is the man that changed the whole idea of script writing. Because if you read his scripts, okay, he would
They're
say
copied.
things and write things that no other script writer, because everyone was too concerned about the structure of the script. But Tarantino, right? He couldn't care less about the structure of the script. Basically, the way he approached scripts was he was an actor. So when you're on stage and the acting teacher goes, right, and I have two people on stage and he goes, right, you're married and you're having an affair with this girl, go. And then you have to make up as you go along. Tarantino believes writing a script is making up as you go along. And then when you get stuck in the middle, then you have to fight your way out. And so that's how he approached script writing. And obviously before he presented his scripts, the way he writes it, everybody used to say, oh no, there are rules. There are, the beginning, middle, and an end. There's the quarter of the script. There's this, that, the other. But Tarantino's like, screw it. This is the way I want to write scripts. And, and then now everybody's copying him. So,
yeah. I mean, it works for him for sure.
yeah, it does work for him. It does work for him. Now, I remember there's one line in Pulp Fiction which says it all, where Vincent Vega, there's a scene in the film when Vincent Vega is talking to the druggie, which is the guy, what's his name? Eric Stoltz.
Oh, yes.
And it says, and he pulls out the money from his pocket. And in the description of Pulp Fiction, it says he pulls out a roll of money that can choke a donkey. So basically, how much money he's got in his hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's a good description. So he was the first one to do things like that in a script, and everybody started copying him. Yeah. So, there you go. So he's a trailblazer, old cutie, in my opinion.
Indeed. I think we're going to call it a draw there, guys. Is that okay?
0-0 after extra time.
Yeah. I will just say to everybody as I don't. I will just say to everybody in the chat, as I always do, thank you for turning up, my friends. We truly are nothing without the energy from the channel. So thank you very much.
Nothing without the chat.
Indeed. If you are new to the channel or watching this on rewind or catch up, if you're not, if you're new to the channel, just subscribe. We could do some. We need some new blood in the chat, so we could do some new subscribers. Try and get the watch towers up. So I'll just say a big thank you to the guests. So not Brian Young. Thank you, mate.
Thanks very much. And again, thanks for the invite.
You're welcome, mate. Captain, thank you, my friend.
Bollocks.
Indeed. MegaGeek, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Swap Shop, brilliant as usual.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh,
there we go.
Double-breasted. Oh, Shankar.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, Willie Scott. Everything's still on.
From behind, against a tree, sir. Over the shoulder, sir. Oh,
did she like it, sir?
It's been a very dirty stream tonight. Very dirty.
Yeah,
stream.
I know.
Reni A,
you like it dirty? A dirty stream.
Check out the Fast Show. That's what we're doing. Fast Show.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, my boyfriend's trying to get me into that show, so I am.
Fast Show is amazing. The Fast Show is amazing.
Yes, it is.
You must do as he says.
You have to watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, you stick with it because it's a catchphrase show, and the fun comes from the repetitive nature of it. But they repeat it in very, very inventive ways.
Awesome. Oh, I love British humor, so I don't see me not liking it.
You'll enjoy it. So, last but not least, then peeps, Reni A, thank you, my friend. Thank you, darling.
Thank you for inviting me. You guys are so lovely. I really appreciate being part of this panel.
Apart from Cockney.
I'm honored.
Yeah, apart from Cockney.
Apart from Cockney, yes.
No,
me, a distinguished archaeologist, deep in the bowels of the Temple of Doom at 3 a.m. with my
The honour is ours. So, shall we do? Shall we do?
Sing along. Let's end on a song.
Come by.
Yourself.
What about always look at the bright side of life from Monty Python?
Always look on the bright side of
life's a piece of shit when you look at it.
Kalima.
I think next week, shall we finish the trilogy off?
Oh yes. I vote yes.
Oh, controversial.
Good idea.
He said it's
My
a
favorite
trilogy.
movie
See what you did
of the
there, Brown.
three.
Yeah. I will try and load some more pictures up next week as well, because I did load them up, but when they've not come on. I've had a technology failure, so that's why they didn't show up. So I do apologise. So we will see everybody. I don't think I'm going to be doing a midweek show this week. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably be appearing on Cockney's channel. Cockney, are you going to do?
You read my mind.
Are you going to do after show?
No, I'm not. I think the family are going to be due back from church.
Right,
and,
family first, mate.
Yeah, so exactly. So this is why this was actually perfectly timed. I love it when the lack of plan comes together, because you just ended up broadcasting just basically on church hours. So thank you for that.
Okay.
That's
every week then. Yeah, that's every week then. We are officially on church hours every week. So
nice.
I will just say thanks to the chat and thanks to the panelists, and we will see you for Last Crusade. Take care, everybody. Tatty bye.
Yay!
Good night.